Good morning, everyone, and welcome to My Chamber TV. Today we have a great show. I first am Delynn Gaston, the wife of the infamous John Gaston, and I am filling in for him while he is out of town right now. And we have a wonderful show today. I'm so excited to bring on with us Cindy.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I love your hair.
I know.
flowing.
I feel like
yes.
you're like, you know,
I
one of
feel
those
like
models.
you're a supermodel.
I know.
Yes.
With my ceiling fan, everyone, blowing my hair all over.
Yes, it's
So
beautiful.
Cindy is with the Chattooga Chamber of Commerce, and I just love it. Somerville, Tryon, Lyerly, Menlo,
And then our communities of Gore, Subligna, Chelsea.
Tidings.
Tidings.
Don't forget that, because
yes.
that's where I live.
Yes. We have several.
I know. I'm learning this. So those of you who don't know, I'm not real familiar with the area just yet.
Yes. And we'll get into
moved
that
up.
later. Right.
Right. But anyway, so Cindy you've been with the chamber for quite a while, haven't you?
Coming up in October 1st will be 8 years with this chamber, so I'm thrilled to be here.
That is a long time.
I drove in for the interview 8 years ago, about right now, and I hit Taylor's Ridge, which I didn't know what it was at that time.
I didn't
and
either. I just learned recently.
I saw that overlook, and I was like, oh, I hope they like me here. I love this. I want to live here.
Right.
So it turned into a wonderful place to live, and I kind of grew roots, married a local boy, and wasn't planning that. So it just happened, and I'm thrilled to be here. And
where did you move? I will get into the chamber.
Yeah.
Where'd you move from?
Most recently from Warren County, which is almost in Augusta. It's about 40 miles west of Augusta.
Oh, okay. So
And so
big
it's
change.
small. Yes, it's actually smaller than here. So it's about the size. The town is about like Menlo, Lyerly, maybe put together. Yes, so
Okay.
it was nice to move up and over into Northwest Georgia.
to a wild city.
Yeah, because I grew up in Central Georgia in Warner Robins. See, I gotta get.
I know where that is because
Yes.
there's a Buc-ee's there.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
yeah, yes. Now
Yes,
there's a
Buc-ee's there.
Yes. But that's where the Air Force Base is, and I graduated from high school there, but
Oh.
I was not born there. I was born in Mobile, Alabama, with the banjo on my knee.
Because you just have to add
Yes,
that.
I do have to add that. And maybe that's why music is my thing. I don't know. But getting to the chamber.
Yes,
So,
yes. So this is such an active chamber. You've got there's always something going on.
I have heard that a little bit. That
it makes me wonder, how do you have
they-
time for it?
They have, a few people have said, well, now I know what the chamber does. So one of our premier programs is Leadership Chattooga, and I know we were talking about that earlier. We have an adult version, which goes from January to December. It's 1 day a month. It's a full day and commitment.
And
We do take
happens?
July off, but we have leadership trainers, local leadership trainers who do a few of the classes. But then we do a lot of touring of the community so that they get to know the community.
Yes, which is so
Most
exciting.
of them are people from here, but they always find out something that they didn't know.
Right,
So
right.
it's
May
very
have had
helpful.
a business here forever, but it's still,
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of
I
them
love
work
that.
in government, they may work in education, they work in other facets of the community, not just business.
Right.
And, well, I didn't know that was happening.
And, you know,
So-
you find out things like, you know, let's say you are in banking or something like that, and one of the visits is at one of the healthcare facilities.
Yes.
Well, you learn things about that you had no
Right.
idea.
Right.
you
Right.
know, because it's
Yes.
more in depth than just, you know, either going to the doctor or just a chamber mixer or
Right.
something. It's more in depth, and
Right.
that's amazing. That's really cool.
We do try to cover all the pillars of the community. So we go into business, government, education, healthcare, tourism. What else? Industry. I mean, we try to cover everything across the whole gambit of the community. And a lot of the people who are in our classes get to show off their particular agency or business, whatever it is, because we have a variety of students. So we take, I'll say 12 to 14 adults each year. We also have a student version,
which I think is awesome.
which is for high school seniors and juniors. We take them from all the high schools, so Tryon, Chattooga, and homeschoolers. So that is a condensed
And
version.
do they apply for it? And there's certain, you know, things that they have to, standards they have to meet in order to be accepted into the program?
A lot of, well, with Chattooga and Tryon, they actually ask who's interested, and then they'll give us a list of names that they feel would be ideal
Good
for them.
candidates for that.
And I think Tryon just limits it to seniors because juniors are really swamped.
Right.
And seniors can usually handle
Have
the
a little bit more
schedule
time.
better.
Right, right.
So,
How exciting.
Yeah.
That is
so we're
neat.
going to be ramping up for that next month. We'll be starting our recruiting as soon as school starts, which unfortunately is in a couple of weeks. Sorry,
I
kids.
I know.
I hate that.
I know.
for 'em. I really do.
Doesn't it seem it gets earlier and earlier? I don't
Yes.
know. Whatever happened
Yes.
to after Labor Day? Didn't it used to be after
No.
Labor Day?
Well, I homeschooled in Warrenton and Milledgeville because I lived in Milledgeville for a little while, and I said, okay, we're going to have 3 months of summer, but we had the liberty to do that. But we went on lots of field trips and stuff in the summer, so we never really stopped, but officially.
And I know we really can't complain because other countries are like 12 months a
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
So,
Year-round school.
yes, exactly. We really, and then we wonder why sometimes, you know, how'd they know that?
No, it's crazy. So we also have the Flex program with the students, but I can talk about that next month.
Oh, I'm so excited to
Yeah.
hear because we were talking about that too.
Yes.
That one's a little scary.
Oh, yeah, the business
If
one.
I were
Yeah.
you know, a young person,
Yeah.
that's a little bit scary.
but it was exciting
but
our
really
first
good,
year.
really good for them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Cindy, it has been so nice talking to you.
Nice
it always
talking to
is.
you.
I enjoy
And I think
spending
we're
time.
going to turn the tables in
All
a
right.
little bit.
We will be right back. Stay with us. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to My Chamber TV. And we have with us now Brad Nall. Thanks for coming, Brad. And
Good morning.
you are with the Benefit Doctor.
The Benefit Doctor.
Yeah. So that's an interesting name. So is that a franchise? I meant to ask you that, actually.
it's not a franchise like we would know like certain franchises, but it is a national brand.
It is.
We're headquartered out of Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
But we have agents all across the country. And they came up with the Benefit Doctor because we cure the pain of employee benefits.
Yeah. Talk about painful.
And if you've ever offered employee benefits, you know the challenge that it can be sometimes with
Yeah.
the administration, finding the right plan, getting everyone involved, the education, the follow-up. So
And trying to fit into that company's budget.
Right,
Ooh.
right. And what we do is, we work with, employers, HR managers, to make it as simple and as streamlined as possible. You know, because the last thing that an HR manager wants to do is be the benefits administrator. And, you know, bringing in someone from the outside, you know, that puts the responsibility on us. So we take care of that for them. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're just handing them, you know, here's who's enrolled, you know, follow up with your invoice, and that's all you need to do.
And here's the package that seems
Here's-
to fit everything that you
Here's the
told me you're
package.
looking for.
We do the education, you know, we you know, work with employees one-on-one. So they're really not burdened with that. And I worked with a lot of, you know, owners, you know, business owners, small business owners in particular, you know, because they don't
And
have.
define small.
Well, I guess everyone has
Is that
their
a
own
hard
definition of
question?
what small is, because, you know,
Right.
I talk to folks and they're like, oh, we have 15 employees, we're too small to offer benefits. So that's a perfect size that I like
Okay.
to work with.
There we go.
So there is nothing that is too small. You know, we work with, you know, 2 and more or just individuals. You know, we can put a package together for anybody that can fit your budget. And, you know, a lot of what we do is, you know, the way we build our benefits, and you can find this, how we do this at our website, thebenefitdoctor.com. We build structure of benefits a little bit differently than you would if you just went out to a broker and they just handed you a spreadsheet with, you know, 100 different plans from Blue Cross and, you know, whatever. We build benefits from the ground up, similar to how you would build a house. So we start with a foundation. When you build a house, you put down a strong foundation. And the foundation that we put in place focuses on protecting employees' paychecks. Because everybody knows why we come to work.
Right.
We come to work because we want to get paid. We have bills to pay. We have whatever.
Keep a roof over our head.
Keep a roof
Things like
over our
that.
head and keep food on the table. So the one thing that we focus on, you know, more than anything is protecting your paycheck. So with short-term disability and, you know, life insurance, other plans that we can put in place that cover, you know, first dollar expenses. But short-term disability is really one that we do a lot of because, you know, if you're out of work because of accident or illness, you want to make sure that you're still receiving a paycheck.
Some kind of paycheck,
Some
right,
kind of paycheck.
exactly. Just enough to put food on the table
Put
at
food
the
on the
very
table,
least,
cover
yeah.
your mortgage or whatever you need. So that's how we structure our benefits. And we, you know, once we lay a foundation, we do, you know, what we've referred to as walls. And those are your everyday expenses, you know, like dental care, vision, you know, eyeglasses, those things that you go to on a regular basis that you know you're probably going to use, but still have out-of-pocket costs. And then, you know, once you get a good strong foundation and you put some walls up, you know, for your house, you know, we're going to put a roof on it. And a roof is, we refer to as like catastrophic care. This is where people most likely refer to or go, you know, to a Blue Cross plan, you know, the major medical. But, you know, for smaller groups, they're like, man, we've looked at
So
that
many
before, and
plans,
it's
we
like
can't
so
afford it
expensive.
to offer it for our
Even, you know, at the
employees.
marketplace, you know, if you've ever had to go to the marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
you know, people are, you know, really experiencing what healthcare pain costs.
Right.
So there are other options out there that a lot of folks might not even be aware of that aren't the high cost of a traditional healthcare plan. So that's what we do is we explore all the different avenues, put together a package that protects your employees with their out-of-pocket costs, their, you know, protecting their paycheck. And if something bad happens, to have a catastrophic event, there's something in place that can help them, you know, prevent going into bankruptcy.
So for small businesses out there who have, like you said, looked at a billion different places and it's just too expensive for them to carry insurance for their people. So a lot of times they don't, you know, people are looking for insurance.
Right.
So you have an avenue for these small businesses
Yeah.
to be able to offer insurance to
Yeah, and
employees or
that's-
potential employees.
And that's the thing is like, you know, when people think about, oh, we offer benefits, it's healthcare.
Right.
And that's where they stop. They
Right.
don't realize that there are so
More
many
to
different
it.
other options out there that aren't your traditional healthcare plan. And, you know, it's saving people, you know, an enormous amount of money when they're looking at alternative options to your traditional healthcare.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you have traditional healthcare now, you know, I'm just using this as an example, you know, you're several $1,000s in deductible before the insurance even picks up.
Oh,
So if you're an individual or have a family and you're looking at, $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 out of pocket before insurance even picks up and covers the majority of what you're needing.
Crazy.
So, and that's what people are being burdened with is, man, how can I afford? I can't even afford to use it.
Right.
So I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket that I don't have. So why even have it?
Right. That's exactly
So
what people
that's
say.
the $1 million question that we try to solve is, how do we put people in benefits that they'll actually see value in
Right.
and will use.
And be able to. So I'm really kind of curious. I know that we're kind of running a little short. See?
Oh, wow.
And I know, right? He was kind of worried about what was he going to do to fill the time. See that?
Right.
How did you get into this? I always like to ask people, what's your why? Like,
I've been in
you're
insurance.
clearly passionate about it.
Clearly passionate. And, I never woke up one day and said, man, I just want to be an insurance agent.
I know, right?
But, I've been in insurance for going on 16 years, and I got started with a carrier that represents the duck. And, the more clients that I went in to see and, get to know, they kept asking me, well, can you do this? Well, can you do this? Can you offer dental? Can you offer vision? Can you help us with our healthcare plan? I was like, well, here's a need that, they're asking me if I can help them with. And right now, as a single carrier rep, I was kind of, had my hands tied behind my back. So I was referring out this business. So I'm like, why refer it out when I can do it myself? So I started kind of as a small broker and I found the benefit doctor, and they support, all the back office administrative stuff that I don't have to deal with. So
Nice.
that's how I got involved in insurance. So it's been, I never realized it would be 16 years.
See, I
So
know.
that's a long time.
Goes fast,
It
right?
does go fast.
And you're like, how did that happen?
Right.
Right.
Never thought I'd be, it was like, never thought I'd be an insurance person.
And here you are.
Here I am 16 years later.
But the passion inside is to help these people who
Right.
had all these questions.
Right.
And you said, I need to help these people
I
find
need to help these
answers.
people.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can tell. All right, well, Brad, thank you so much for being with us, and we appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you for your time this morning.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to My Chamber TV, and right now we have with us Jimmy Burrage. Nope. Burridge. See, I knew it. I even asked him beforehand. How do you pronounce that? See, from Chattooga Florist, and I am so excited to have you. I was lucky enough to meet Jimmy at one of the chamber mixers. And I said to him, can I have a card? What girl doesn't want a card from a florist, right? Can I have a card? And can I have an extra one to like secretly drop on my husband's, desk so that he can have it too? Has he called you yet, by the way?
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll have to get on him about
Yeah,
that.
I'm not operating yet, so,
Okay, but you're getting ready to.
yeah.
So tell us about what you're doing with Chattooga Florist.
Well, I'm originally from Somerville, born and raised, and
I love it here, by the way.
yeah, it's a beautiful area. We moved to Texas in 2009, I think it was, but I got started in floral design in 1998.
Long
and-
time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, and since then, I've worked in florist in Atlanta, Houston, Galveston, and then we owned a shop in Killeen for 6 years.
What got you into that?
I just thought I would be good at it, and we opened a shop, and then I was like, oh Lord, somebody needs to know what they're doing here. So I found
Right.
I found a school in South Florida and went down there. It was a 3-week course, Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. And he taught everything from purchasing your flowers to paying your bills. And then I decided that I needed experience to put the knowledge that I had just gained into use, because I really didn't. And I decided we need to close this little place, and I went to work for someone else. And since then, I've been certified as a Texas Master Florist with Texas, and a certified floral designer nationally with AIFD. And
So
I
right
just
from
love
the-
what I do.
So right from the growing side of it and proper care for the flowers and such like that?
He didn't teach the growing as much as just the processing once you receive it from the wholesaler,
Okay.
because there is a process that the flowers go through from the grower all the way to the recipient to extend the life of the flowers and keep them as fresh as long as possible.
I know on carnations, somebody had told me carnation starts to wilt, and they're pretty strong. You know, they last a long time. Just put them in water, like cool water, in your sink. You know, put like this much water in your sink, put them in, lay them down in there, and they're going to perk right back up again.
There's a lot of flowers that do well if you can submerge the head in water. That hydrates them. It's like a rapid hydration. But a lot of them you don't want to do that because it's going to leave water spots on the flower, and then that spot will rot.
That's what I was thinking, because sometimes,
Especially
because I've
roses.
heard, yeah, you should never water, like if it's an outside flowering plant or something, you shouldn't water it from the top. You should water it
the
from the
roots,
bottom,
yeah.
because, yeah, you could damage the flower
A
itself.
hydrangea, if
Yep.
it starts wilting, you can put it upside down in a bucket or in a bowl or anything and let it hydrate, and it will hydrate and perk back up, and it won't hurt it.
Okay,
It'll make it last a couple of more days.
nice, nice. So what is your favorite part of, I would imagine, you know, the design, or like what is your,
Oh,
what makes you go on it?
My all-time favorite is when, especially with funeral and memorial work, is when people will bring something that makes them think of the person and allow me to just create something and incorporate that piece into the flower arrangement.
See, I was going to ask about that, if you did like funeral and things like that as well.
That's a fun thing to do. It gets my juices flowing
Nice.
on my creative side.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And it's fun to do, rather than you just showing me a picture that you want me to
Right.
copy.
Right.
Which,
Or
you know,
just
is on every
put it
website
down.
because that's all you can do. It's on our website, ChattoogaFlorist.com. I have just stock arrangements, but I also have choices of certain types of containers with a price point for occasions, whatever you want. Just let me choose the flowers, but you tell me I want a ceramic vase.
Right.
Then I'll put it in a ceramic vase and I'll create something that's just for you that you're not going to see on someone else's table.
So when somebody calls you and says, you know, my uncle just passed away or something like that, and I need flowers, do you usually ask them, tell me something about your uncle or whatever, just so that you can, instead of just, you know,
Yeah, it usually comes up in conversation.
That's
You know, I need to
personalized.
know
That's
a little
nice.
more about, I need to know a little bit about the person you're sending to. What's your relationship? What's that commitment level?
Yeah.
Because that will determine the size of the piece and the cost of the piece.
Right.
Because if it's just an acquaintance that you want to let the family know, then you're not going to want to spend $200 on that. That's
Right.
going to be too much from you.
right, right.
So then we discuss, and you might end up with a $45, $50 plant that's more appropriate from you for that specific person.
Nice. I've never had a florist ask me those questions or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's personalized. That's nice.
usually you can tell a lot about that relationship in the card message.
Right. Right.
So that's, over the last 25 years, that's one thing that I've gotten very good at, is reading someone's card message and interpreting that into the floral arrangement.
Very nice. So, what other things do you do, like for occasions, parties, weddings, things like that?
Honestly, my least favorite thing to do is
It's a
weddings.
wedding. I knew you were going to say that.
But I
Photographers say the same thing.
I do enjoy doing a nice, tasteful wedding and seeing the final product in position. That
Oh.
gives me a satisfaction of starting with nothing but a box of flowers and now look at this room.
Right,
You know.
right. Clearly, you're an artist, and I think artist-type people, of which I am not. I like can't even. I'll stick things in a vase and say, Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm horrible with that kind of thing. But but my husband's very artistic, but artist type of people, does it make you crazy sometimes? Like if you're doing a wedding and you got the flowers and everything and you made it look beautiful, but you really don't like the way the table is set or something like that. You're like, oh, I wouldn't have done it that way.
Well,
And I say that because I have a
will,
girlfriend who's like, she's amazing with that kind of thing.
I will express that in my own head,
Obviously
but
not to the
it's
bride and groom.
It's not my party.
Right, right,
I'm just there to make it look pretty.
right. As pretty as you can, even though you disagree with the way the table is set or
Yes.
something, right? I can understand that.
And
yeah.
there's one thing that I always express to a bride is, it doesn't matter how long you look at your pictures from your wedding after the wedding. There's going to be one thing that's in those pictures in every picture you look at, 98% of the time, and that's flowers.
Yep, yep, you're right.
It doesn't matter whether you're taking a picture of someone at the reception, you're going to show the flowers.
Right.
The mother, you're going to show the flowers. And do you really want to look at this for the next 50 years?
Good point. Good point. All right. Well, Jimmy, I'm so glad you came and joined
I'm glad
us.
I came too.
And,
It was fun.
I'm glad, and everyone can find you at
ChattoogaFlorist.com, and after September, we will be at 476 Orchard Road.
Nice.
I'm in the process of turning a shed into a shop.
Nice.
I've broken it down to its bare bones and rebuilt it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cindy, I'm hearing ribbon cutting. That's what I heard. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
We will be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to My Chamber TV. I am Dylan Gaston, and look, we have flowers. And that is because we have with us Mandy Hicks. Mandy Hicks from, hold on, I have to get this right, Willow's Flowers at Taluga Springs Farm. I knew I was going to mess it up.
Everybody
See that? But everybody knows it anyway, right? Because you've
Yes.
been here, you were telling me how long?
Our farm is 188 years old.
That's amazing, 188 years. Is that all family owned?
All the same family. It's my partner's
Wow.
family. He's the sixth generation farmer on the farm. We're one of the oldest running working farms in the county. Not only do we have flowers, but we also have a cow-calf operation, a hay operation. We run a farm stand, and we have a pre-antebellum estate that we do tours for.
Oh, tell me about that. See, I knew you have all kinds of stuff going on.
So our farm was the hub of Taluga. We have the general store and post office still. We have the mill. We have the wheat crib where they used to store the wheat and the grain, and we turned that into a store and a museum for the farm.
Oh, nice.
It's actually in the flower farm, so when you come to tour the flower farm and go to pick flowers in the flower farm, you can go in the store in the wheat crib, and we had to have it refurbished. It had lost its seals, so we actually had trees milled on the farm to create the seals, and then we took lumber that we had on the farm to repair it. So everything in it was original to the original 188-year-old wood, basically, in the farm. Only thing was new was the screws to put it back together, and we did like 2.5 feet of PVC window, like we put in a greenhouse, so that it would have windows in it where it didn't have windows before. And it's full of, it's got 2 walls full of old pictures. John's grandmother was into photography, and which is unheard of for a woman back in
Right.
the turn of the century. And so they turned our smokehouse, the second story of our smokehouse is 2 stories, and they turned it into a dark room. And so we have totes and totes of farm life pictures and Chattooga County pictures, and
Wow.
The first Model A, first Model T in the county. We have
Oh,
pictures of them.
my.
We actually have wheels of the Model A and Model T that we found in the wheat crib when we were remodeling, and we got them hung around the outside of it. So
Nice.
it's a neat experience. When you come to our farm to pick flowers, you step back in time, basically, is what I tell everybody. We have no cell service. We have no Wi-Fi. So if you have a child that is addicted to their phone becomes a camera on our farm. That's all it's good for. You get to walk around. Our flower farm is in about almost 2 acres total. We have an acre planted in flowers. We have a 1/4 acre in research and development. I tell everybody I have a daughter who's a biologist, and so I had to have a research and development area.
Of course you had to.
Not only that, we have a beautiful plantational home that we let people take pictures of. If we have time, we can do tours and show you, walk you through, and show you what the past used to be. The original roadbed that went to the Tag Railroad, which is the Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama Railroad that ran from Chattanooga to Gadsden every day, came basically almost right through our farm. And so the main road, which now is Highway 337, ran right through our pasture and split our pasture in half. And so travelers would come on their horse and wagon, and they would stop at our general store. That's still there. That's where they'd get their mail. I have been asked if I can't think of the where they used to do the mail with the horses and stuff would come through. I don't
Pony
know.
Express?
Pony Express. That's it. I never could think of that. I've been asked about if that has been there. Not for sure. I haven't done the research on it yet, but I'm guessing it had. It was open during the time. We still have the mill. It's a beautiful estate just to come out and just walk around. We have some pin oak trees in the backyard that are over 300 years old that would probably
Wow.
take 8 people to hold hands and reach around.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we have.
That's huge.
Where the flower farm was the original orchard for the estate. Only thing left in the orchard is about a 200-year-old pecan tree, and it's right in the dead center of the flower picking. So it makes beautiful pictures. It's got all the farms growing on it from where it was old, and it's just a great adventure. We also have bees. We have 28 beehives that Whaley's Bees brings every year and puts on our farm stands, on our flowers. So you can see, yes, our flowers. As you can see, here's a sample of them.
And the pollinators, so the bees
you
will.
you can set out in the my sunflower field is called Sparky's Field of Sunshine. I had a boxer bull mastiff that was my right-hand man, and he was always with me. And so when he died, I buried him right out there, and I always told him I'd fill that field with sunshine for him. And you can sit out there, and all you hear is bees and hummingbirds and birds. If you want to do a science, if you're homeschooling and you want to teach nature to your children,
Right.
bring them out. Let them just sit. I have picnic tables set up out there. All you hear is the hum. You hear a car go by every now and then because it is close to the road, but when there's nothing there, you just hear the hum of the bees and the hummingbirds and the birds, and it's a magical time. I do a bingo card for small children to play, and it's like I took a picture with a flower. I saw a bumblebee, June bugs. I have a Great Dane puppy, and he goes out every day, and that's what he does is plays with and chases June bugs.
Oh.
So it's something fun to see. And like I said, we also have the wheat crib. That itself is magical, just seeing that old building and walking through it.
And it's operating?
Yes, ma'am.
See? And it's how do you do all of that? I mean, your farm has so many different things. I mean, we really just kind of talked about the flowers, but you do all kinds of other things as well at that farm.
We do. And
How do you do all of
really
that?
shocking is there's only 2 full-time employees, and that's John and myself. My daughter was telling me this weekend, she's like, I don't know how you did this, Mom. She said, John was telling me what you did last week. And so we were in the hayfield. We had 100 acres of hay on the ground. And so I would go out in the hayfield. I'd go out early in the morning, and I'd work in the flowers. And then about the time that the dew would be off the hay, he'd say, okay, let's go. So we'd go to the hayfield, and I'd work and work and work in the hayfield, and I'd get ahead of him. And then I'd go home, and I'd work in the flowers, and I'd think, okay, he is about got to where he's probably caught up. And I'd go back to the hayfield, and I would work in the hayfield, and then I'd go back and work in the flowers.
Just out of curiosity, how long is your day?
About 16 hours.
16 hours.
We
of
start about
work.
6 o'clock in the morning, and we go till about 10 at night. We usually have dinner about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Oh my gosh.
This is our busiest time with the hay, the cattle, and the flowers.
And when
But
it's not your busiest time, what's a
about
normal
an
day?
8-hour day,
Is it?
7 days a
It
week.
still seems like it's a lot to do.
But,
Now,
I was always told if you do what you love,
I
you'll
know.
never work a day in your life. And
exactly.
I truly, I
love it.
worked in medical in Chattanooga before I moved down here 15 years ago, and I haven't looked back. This is, I always
This
told,
is your happy spot.
I always told John I was going to retire one day and grow flowers, and sell flowers. And so here we are 3 years later. I have a 2-acre field, and I actually took a pasture that we rode cattle in, and started flowers in it, and that's where it started. A fun side note, it takes 10 hours to mow all the grass
Oh my gosh,
with 2 lawnmowers, 2 weed eaters, and a push mower. 10 hours.
10 hours. How many acres?
Well, between the house and the flower farm and the barn, it's roughly about 6 acres. And we used to run cattle on over half of it. And since we don't run cattle on it anymore, it's us.
Gotta mow it.
It's us mowing. Gotta love it.
No more self-mowing
You
there.
gotta love it. You have to love it. We love to,
I think I heard somebody from the background there say, dang. So, but anyway, so what an amazing thing you have there. And people can reach you on your website there.
on Facebook.
Just real quick, for selfish reasons, what are the hours? Because I would love to come and tour the museum. I totally love
We're
museums
open-
and flowers.
We're open for picking every Friday and Saturday. This weekend, we're going to be open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On Fridays, we open at 4 and we run till dusk. On Saturday, we open at 9 and we run till dusk. And on Sunday, we'll open at 1 and we'll run till 6.
Okay.
And this weekend, we're doing a back-to-school special. Any teacher or teacher's aide are welcome to come and pick, and we're going to take $10 off of their buckets in honor of John's mom, who was a librarian at Menlo Elementary School.
Oh.
And so we always run a Miss Jean special when school goes back. So every
Nice.
teacher has a beautiful bouquet of flowers in their classrooms.
Thank you. It has been such a pleasure getting to know you. I can't wait to come in and visit the farm. Everyone, stay with us. We will be right back.
Welcome back. Yes, we have turned the tables. Now I'm going to do the interviewing. So we're here with Delynn Gaston with the mortgage firm. So yes, we wanted to highlight her business as well because y'all don't know about Delynn. So you have just moved here. How long ago?
I have. So technically 3 years ago, however, but then our son got an opportunity to go to school back in Orlando, so I moved down there. John stayed here.
Yeah.
So our son finally graduated.
Yay!
And so I've been up here about 6 months now.
Okay, so
Full time.
Yes,
Before that, I
yes.
was going back and forth, back and forth, back
Yeah,
and forth, so.
because I haven't really gotten to know you until the past few months, I guess.
yeah.
So,
I've been coming to more things.
yes, I'm thrilled that you're up here more permanently.
So is John.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. So, what does the mortgage firm do? Tell me about that. What is it? Is it, like you asked Brad earlier, is it a franchise?
No, it is not a franchise. So the mortgage firm is owned by 3 people who, and one of the reasons I love the mortgage firm, so for what it's worth, I've been in the mortgage business 45 years. I tell people I started when I was 12. And in 45 years, I've been with this company now about 10 years, and in 45 years, this is the best company I've ever worked for.
Huh? Why?
Absolutely the best company I've ever worked. Because in the mortgage world, it's very, it's not, it takes a village, I like to say. It takes a village to make it happen. No one can do it by themselves. You can't just go to the person sitting at the bank teller,
Right.
and say, hey, get me a mortgage. There's so much that goes into it in the background. And there's a lot of companies out there, and big banks and things like that, where you can't get a hold of a person. You can't, and with all this AI stuff, that's really, and people read things on the internet, and so much of it, as you know, is wrong on the internet. So you need people to help guide you through that, and
Right.
I need people to help me. So my portion of it is to talk to the client, make sure, explain to them how the whole thing works, make sure they understand things, and then hold their hands all the way through the transaction to make sure everything goes as it should. But I can't do that all by myself. I have a team. So there's processors and there's underwriters. Underwriters are the ones who make the decision, yes or no. But if I know my job well enough, I don't get very many no's.
Right, right.
And then, but what I like the most about this company is I can get a hold of the owner of the owner of the company, one of the owners of the company. I have his cell phone number. Actually, two of them. I have their cell phone number. So you know what? Although they would just tell me to call somebody else, and I have that somebody else's cell phone number too.
Yes.
So that's what I like about it, because like I said, sometimes the big banks and the big companies and stuff you can't get a hold of a person. I can get a hold of anybody, you know.
So you're
Even on the
like an
weekend.
assistant to the buyer.
I'm what's called, I'm what's called a loan originator, and you have to be licensed, and I am licensed in, it is state national licensing. You have to have a national licensing number, which I do, for the national test, and then we have to take tests every year, continuing education, and I am licensed in the state of Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
We're
Wonderful.
working on Alabama next, being we're so close to Alabama.
Yes, yes. Well, they're more than an hour behind, some would say.
I know,
but-
that messed me up when I was up here looking for
No,
houses.
She didn't get the joke. But I was born in Alabama, remember?
Oh, that's right.
So I can make fun of Alabama, but I love Alabama. But I'm also very happy that I'm in Georgia. But this is not about me. So, what is it, how does this work? Are you remote? I mean,
Yes.
so-
Yes. So for what it's worth, right, when somebody is looking to buy a house, you know, in their heads, one of the first things they have to do is get a realtor to help them find a
Yeah.
house, or they go on realtor.com and they start scrolling and everything. That's not the first thing to do. The first thing you do is figure out how much house can I afford?
Right.
Right? I don't know. How much house can I afford? You know what you might be comfortable with, and that's something that I ask my clients like pretty much right up front all the time. I spend a lot of time with them up front, at least like an hour on the phone going over things with them, or face to face if they'd rather meet face to face. But a lot of what I do is over the phone, because people are, you know, people's lives are busy.
Right.
So I try and fit into their schedule. So I do try to be available 7 days a week. If they need to meet me on a, you know, or talk to me on a Saturday morning or a Sunday afternoon or something like that, I try and do that because I tell them, and they always feel bad. I'm so sorry to be bothering you on a Friday night at 7:30 or whatever. And I say to them, in order for me to do my job, I need you to be doing your job.
Right,
Because
right.
you can't get a mortgage if you're unemployed.
Yes,
so,
yes.
so I will meet you, or I will talk to you after hours for when you get out of work, to make it easier on them. So what I do is I guide them. So the very first thing, and I'll say to them, you know, because I've been doing this for 100 years, and in that time frame, I find
She looks good for 100 years.
don't I? So I find what somebody is qualified for a monthly mortgage payment, and what they're actually comfortable paying for a monthly mortgage payment, two different numbers.
Yes.
So people will say to me, when I say to them, do you have a price range in mind? They'll say, oh, $300,000. And I'll say, okay, what kind of comfortable payment? You know, what are you comfortable with for a mortgage payment if you're looking at $300,000 houses? Well, I don't want my payment any more than, you know, $1,200 a month.
Well, good luck.
Exactly. I say, okay. So
You're in a dream world.
I tell them, okay, I'm a little bit of a reality check here. But actually what I will say to them is, okay, so if you're comfortable with $1,200 a month, let's see how much house $1,200 a month gets you. And I work the numbers backward. Okay, we start
Yeah.
with your payment of $1,200. Okay, how much house? Well, that gives you a house of about $150,000. So you're a little bit off.
Yeah.
And they're always very surprised. So that's why the realtors, when somebody wants to buy a house, if they go to the realtor first, the first thing the realtor is going to say is, have you spoken to a mortgage person? You need to speak to a mortgage person.
Yeah.
Because, you know, no one
Because you're
wants
wasting everybody's
everybody's time, and you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. You
Yeah.
know, if you really, if you're looking on Realtor.com at 11 o'clock at night, and you see this $300,000 house that you absolutely love, and sometimes they'll say, yes, but it said that the payment, is like, 1482 or something like
Well, that's
that.
based on the down payment.
Down payment, that's because they put 20% down or 25% down, and that usually doesn't include the taxes on the
Right,
house and
right.
the insurance on the house
Yeah.
and things like that. So sometimes, when people say things like that, I'll say, okay, the fine print, read the fine print on that, because it means 20% down. From what you told me, you don't have $97,000 to put down,
So that's a problem.
right. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So-
that's wonderful because everybody needs that type of expert that
Right.
can, I mean, like we were talking with, well, you were talking with Mandy earlier and with Jimmy about weddings. So you're like the wedding planner for buying a house.
There you go.
A one-stop shop that can connect them with
Yes.
what they need.
With what they need and what they can afford and what they're going to be happy with.
Right.
Yeah. And to make it as seamless as possible. And the other thing people are always surprised at is that it takes a while. It takes a village and it takes a while. So it's, for the most part, contracts are about 30 days. So when you sign a real estate contract, you got about 30 days until the closing. And I tell people, I need every bit of those 30 days. I
Right.
need those 30 days because we have to verify everything because of all the fraud in the mid-2000s, which was a terrible time in the country.
Yes.
The real estate crash and everything, it was horrible. But because of all of the fraud that happened during those times, everything. So I tell people, when I started in this business in 1980, an application was like, 5 or 6 pages, and that was the total application. Now it's over 30 pages, just for the application, and all of the verifying we have to do and things like that.
Right.
So even though things have speeded up, because back in 1980, a mortgage took about 60 to 90 days to do. But that's because we didn't have fax machines, we didn't
Right.
have computers,
Right.
we mailed things
Right.
to people. Yeah, it was.
That red tape takes a long time.
It does. Pony Express.
Yeah.
like
Okay, we
like
just
Mandy was
brought it
saying.
all the way back around. And thank you, Delynn.
You're
It's so
welcome.
great to get to know you better now that you're here full time and get to know your business. And thank you for hosting this morning. And we're
Oh, you're
thrilled to
welcome.
have you here. So I think I'm going to throw it to you to wrap us
To
up.
say thank you. So thank you all for watching, and we appreciate it. If you would like to be a guest on My Chamber TV, by all means, reach out to Cindy, and she will be happy to put you on the schedule. That's it for now. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
We will see everybody next week.